Hello everybody, my name is Staraptor and welcome to the channel. This week we have 3 Star Wars comics to talk about. We have Crimson Reign, we have the High Republic, and Halcyon's Legacy. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you like this content where I talk about Star Wars, like the Book of Boba Fett, on a weekly basis. So getting started with Crimson Reign, issue number 2. The Assassin. So this one is basically all about Ojia Bestoon as well as Dastic, who both have their own specific targets given to them from Qi'ra of Crimson Dawn. So we'll start with Ojia Bestoon, who goes to Coruscant. He's able to use one of those dark probe droids that Darth Maul used in the Phantom Menace, which is pretty neat. So we have him poisoning the royal guards of Emperor Palpatine, and a collapse in front of Emperor Palpatine. And this sort of like shows the potential of the risk that the Emperor is dealing with. It shows you the adept skill with poisons that Ojia Bestoon uses. But in this scene where the royal guards collapse before Emperor Palpatine in his throne room, we get the mention by him saying something about Admiral Piet and something about General Veers. So that's a big deal because General Veers in Legends said to have died during the Battle of Hoth. So here we have a brand new story thread going forward where General Veers is going to be alive after the Empire Strikes Back. So that's very interesting. Talking about Death Six mission, she is going to go to the location of this rebel base to get Kedalia, who is basically the syndicate. She'll bring together the Mortar's Whale and the Unbroken Clan, which would both be huge boons for the Crimson Dawn if they could get her alive and then not have that happen, to have people rise against Crimson Dawn. So she calls a Imperial strike on this rebel stronghold and does successfully get Kedalia, who we see in the Bounty Hunter series with Byler and Valence. If you want to know more about her, find that out there. So that's what we had in Crimson Reign, issue number 2. Moving over 200 years prior to the High Republic, issue number 14 is the penultimate issue of this awesome comic book series. It's called Jedis N Chapter 4, The Edge of Destruction. We have Avar Kriss about to take out Lorna D of the Nihil, and well, she comes to a decision not to do that. So she instead knocks her the heck out, and they get off of No Space. And they go back to Starlight Beacon, where they quickly find it is in distress. There has been an explosion that has gone off. And we have Avar Kriss, we have Keith Trennis, we have Qi'ra, all scouring throughout the Starlight Beacon, trying to figure out what they can do to save the people first off. And maybe if they can help, maybe not make this happen where it crashes down to the planet. But we also have one of those leveler creatures that is about on the top part of Starlight Beacon, which does affect, it looks like Avar Kriss, where it affects her mind, where she's like getting these psychedelic images, and that's kind of where the issue leaves off. So we're going to get that last issue, which is going to hopefully tie into everything we're going to see after the events of the Fallen Star. And finishing up, we have a brand new miniseries that just started today, and that is the Galactic Star Cruiser Halcyon Legacy number 1. This is the Storm on the Horizon. So this is going to tie in with the brand new hotel experience over at Disney World. And well, this is all about like a wraparound story where we have, contemporary story is during the time between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So we have these people, they're using the Galactic Star Cruiser, the Halcyon Legacy, as just like a pleasure cruise going from place to place, and they get ransacked by these pirates. The guy named Crimson Jack, apparently he has come from some of the older Star Wars Legends comics from like the first Marvel run of the 1970s and early 80s. So we have that going on. And then there's a droid that has apparently knowledge about everything from 2 years prior in between. And he gives us a nice little story about Burryaga and Nibisek and the first time they had to fight off the Nihil on this brand new christened ship, the Halcyon Legacy. So what's interesting thing about that is we have one of the Tempest runners come down and try to take over the ship. That basically the Nihil want the ship to get this special data chip to figure out where these things are produced. So we have Nibisek, who is being a badass, fighting against one of the Tempest runners in the mech suits. And then we have Burryaga, who is flying around in his Vector Jedi starship, taking out Nihil left and right. And it's a really fun romp around. And that's really where it kind of comes to an end is, you have Burryaga, you have Nibisek. They save the day. The Jedi come in to save the day. But the Nihil still do get that information, which will probably come into play eventually. So there you have it. Those were the 3 comics that came out. That was a high level view of what happens in those comics. Which ones are you looking to specifically forward to this week? Let me know in the comment section down below. As I mentioned off the top of the show, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Do listen to our weekly Star Wars podcast, Outer Rim Transmission. We go live every Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern. We have been, of course, talking a lot in depth about the book of Boba Fett. So make sure you go ahead and listen to us on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, wherever podcasts are found. That is good to do for me, Starved. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.
Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at StarRaptor.